Hello, this is the Animation Fanatic, and well, it finally happened. After over a year of waiting, people, we finally have it. The first episode of Total Drama All-Stars. And no Dawn. Yeah. Wow, it just goes to show General Scar was right. Disappointment is a present too. Not only that, but no Noah, no Owen, no Izzy, no... Well, yeah, none of those characters that I kind of wanted to be in this show. None of those other all-stars. None of those other fan favorites. None of those other people that we all wanted to see. A lot. Yeah. Well, anyway, the point I'm trying to make... No, I'm not trying to make a point. But anyway, let's dive into this episode. This is going to be a spoiler review. But so if you don't want to know the plot of this episode, if you want to be completely surprised, don't continue watching this. I will just add this little caveat for non-spoiler reviewers. After this, go away. This was a very solid episode, and it was very good. And I'm going to get into why that was in a minute. So anyway, this year we have another competition for, guess what, $1 million. And this time we have several contestants who are considered all-stars from both the last generation, the most recent generation, and the previous ones from all the seasons, the regular Total Dramas and Total Drama Revenge of the Island. So, coming back, as well as the two special characters who were there, who were introduced in World Tour. So anyway, coming back are Gwen, Duncan, let's see, Lindsay, Courtney, Heather, Joe, Lightning, Cameron, Mike, Zoe, Crazy Sierra, Alejandro, who's in his robot suit at the beginning of the episode, and you think for a second Ezekiel. Fortunately, they throw him out. I'll get into why that's a fortunate thing in a second. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. Oh, Scott, of course, and like I said, no Dawn. Yeah, it just makes you really happy, doesn't it? But anyway, let's examine this episode on its plot, its merits, and what it does right. The episode starts out in prison of all places, where Chef is going to pick up Chris McClane after spending a year in jail for toxic dumping. We get a very nice cameo by the escaped psychopath with a chainsaw and a hook in there, and Chris realizes Chef brings Chris the news that he's had his contract renewed, and that now he's going to get to host another show, and we dive right into everything, literally, as we'll see in a second. Now, I want to get into the intro for this show. It's a shortened version of the regular one. It skips parts of the song. I'm actually kind of disappointed by that. I was hoping they'd go all out with it, as they did every year. One other thing, I'm disappointed that the dollar amount is also 1 million again. Couldn't we up the ante? We've been doing... It was really cool to see the amount go from 100,000 to 1 million between Total Drama Island and Total Drama Action, but now it's 1 million, it's 1 million, it's 1 million, it's 1 million. Could we go to 5 million or 2 million or 1.5 million at least? But I don't know. I'm not writing the show, and it's stuck around this long, so what do I know? Anyway, we start out the episode with a very brief introduction to the characters. They're all kind of thrown in at you. Just a note, if you haven't had experience with the show, this is not exactly a fresh start. You might want to have seen the previous season, but still, you could get introduced to it. You just won't understand entirely everything that's going on. But again, if you haven't seen previous episodes of this isn't a horrible place to start. Nor do you exactly have to watch every episode of all the previous seasons. You could get by with just Season 1 and Season 4 with just reading a Wikipedia synopsis of the third season, just so you know everything that's happened. But basically, we start out with two new teams, a team of villains and a team of heroes. The villainous vultures, guess who's on that team, and the heroic hamsters. Now, what I actually expected is Chris to put Crazy Sierra back on the villainous vultures because she blew up his plane. Actually, he doesn't do that. He puts Gwen there because they're still going with the whole boyfriend kisser thing from till Drama World Tour. And Gwen's a little put out of it that everyone still hates her, despite all the good that she rightly says, despite all the good that she's done in previous seasons. Anyway, as I said before, for a second we think Ezekiel's going to be back, and they go the whole Ezekiel Gollum joke. Yeah, that was funny. Oh, let me think. That joke was funny. Never. It was never funny, and I can't believe they're still going with it. 3 seasons of this joke. It's still not funny. But no, the villainous vultures get the robot instead of Ezekiel, which is fine with me. Anyway, the competition, which takes up most of the episode, is a very nice homage to 2 previous ones. It's the diving competition from the very first episode of the show, as well as using the baby carriages from the 3rd season in what I think I remember was a race or something like that. Anyway, the goal is to dive into shark-infested waters again, this time hosting 2 of our regular sharks, plus Fang, the shark with feet, to grab a key and to open up the door to a mansion where the victors will stay for the rest of the season. The losers will stay in the regular crappy cabins. Anyway, this starts to go off as well as expected. The villainous vultures, who you'd think would be very strong, they've got several almost winners and winners in their team, can't help but start bickering with each other over what to do, and you actually think they might lose because they can't get along. Fortunately, their skill sets, as I expected, and the fact that they do manage to work together when they really need to, oh yeah, and Alejandro, we'll get to him in a minute, help them with this challenge. The heroic hamsters, who are very nice to each other and seem like they work out well, you would think would do better, but unfortunately they've got just some issues to sort out. One of those being Courtney automatically assigning Lindsay to the driving position. You see, after somebody dives into the water and grabs a key, they have to be ferried one at a time in the baby carriage by the driver, and then come back, and then the next person jumps. Lindsay would be better for jumping than pushing. Courtney probably should have pushed, or somebody else. I'm not saying Cameron should have done it, but Lindsay wasn't the best person. But it wasn't entirely her fault. She did effectively well throughout the challenge. It's just Courtney weighed her down as she jumps into the carriage and gets smashed by Sierra when Sierra gets in. Anyway, the course continues with different things happening. I just should mention that so far there's a lot of great jokes throughout the season so far. It's really funny. And one more additional thing, the island is no longer toxic. With the exception of Fang, I don't think we're going to see much toxic waste or mutants or anything, so get used to that. Not that the regular sharks were all that regular to begin with, or any of the animals on this island for that matter. So anyway, the competition is pretty tight. Despite the fact that the heroic hamsters are behind initially, they are still trying to do their best. Anyway, the competition ends when Alejandro is pushed out in his robot suit into the water. It blows up thanks to the sharks attacking it. Alejandro, by luck, manages to get the right key, and then he goes and opens the door. Hooray. Anyway, unlike the previous season, the mansion is not destroyed in some hammed way. It is completely fine, and we get... I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Oh yeah, and the villainous vultures are the victors. Now, there's been a few changes. They're still using marshmallows to determine who stays and who goes, but now the victors can watch the elimination ceremony. Also, they get an extra prize, one extra person. Basically, Lightning volunteers for the extra prize, and he gets to go out to Boney Island to look for a Chris Invincibility statue. Hopefully the Invincibility statues will come more in handy this year than they did in the previous year. I was kind of disappointed with how they went with that. They just faked Dawn out and whatnot. Anyway, Lindsay gets eliminated today. Kind of disappointed in that a little bit. I was kind of hoping Courtney would go, but I guess they want to expand on the whole Courtney, Duncan, Gwen love triangle. I'm personally getting a little tired of that. You know, it's depressing. You saw Gwen and Trent go through that whole thing in the first season only to have it kind of spoiled. It's just annoying. I don't think we'll have much. I don't know if we'll have much conflict with Zoe and Mike this season. We had sort of all that in the previous one, but we'll see. All in all, this was a very effective episode. Oh, final thing. Instead of a boat of shame or a catapult of shame, it's now they're now flushed down a giant toilet. Only the best from Chris McLean. Anyway, all in all, this is a very effective episode. It has nice homages to previous ones. It's got smart humor. The characters are all done very well. I'm surprised to say Sierra was actually less annoying and pretty entertaining this time. Without Cody there to constantly make her go all crazy, and yeah, she's actually pretty interesting, and even addresses the fact that people don't like the Duncan-Gwen relationship in her blogs. that was pretty smart. That's self-knowledge. So, all I can say is keep watching, and we'll see where this series goes. Next time I hope to come back with a review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Legend of Korra, and Beware the Batman, but I'm not sure exactly when those are airing, so we will see.